everybody, welcome to this brand new edition of UC Sports. I'm William Richardson. To my right, we've got Brandon Carney. Brandon, what do we have ahead for us in the show?
Well, first we're going to start with swimming. The UConn men's and women's swimming and diving teams faced off against Villanova at home on Saturday. For the first time ever, UC Sports was able to conduct interviews during the meet. We had Hector Molina here to cover the action. Here's what he had to say.
The UConn men's and women's swimming and diving team go right into action today as they took on Villanova in their first dual meet of the season. This is the third year in a row that these two teams have met, with last year's contest coming down to the final race, with UConn earning the victory.
Villanova used to be with us in the Big East back in those days, so there's always been that kind of rivalry. Similar to basketball, they're the ones that we always kind of look at from across the way. Last year, especially on the women's side, it went right down to the last relay. So we know what they can do, and they know what we can do, so it's always a fun time.
UConn was ready and looking forward to bring that same winning mentality into today's meet.
Really just trying to get a lot of points for the team. We want to start off strong, get the ball rolling, have a lot of good swim meets this year. Try to start off with a really good record and keep it going throughout the season.
Yeah, they had a meet on Wednesday. We knew the times, so we knew what we had to beat. We kind of want to get prepared for the next couple meets that we have coming up. We have Penn State and Princeton, which that's going to be a tough meet, so we want to get prepared for that, get a couple swims in.
Even though the team has veterans who lead the way, the freshmen stepped up and performed at a high level in their very first meet.
I definitely want to be as fast as possible this season, and since it's freshman season, I got all 4 years to be able to do that, and hopefully one day I'll be on that record board back there.
It feels amazing. I'm a freshman here at UConn, and I just really didn't expect this team spirit, and it's really, really helpful. I love it.
The men's team dominated the meet throughout, earning their first victory. While the women's team did not win, the final score was close, with Villanova coming out on top, 150 to 175. As you can see behind me, this team brings a lot of excitement and intensity here to UConn. The team's next meet will be on Halloween when they take on Brown University in Rhode Island. Reporting from the Wolf-Zakin Auditorium, I'm Hector Molina, and this is UC Sports.
The Huskies will have their second meet this Saturday in Providence against Brown University. The men will look to move to 2-0, while the women will be looking to get their first win of the season.
Now moving to women's soccer, the UConn women's soccer team closed out its 2015 regular season on Sunday with an impressive 2-1 win against SMU on Senior Day. The Huskies won the American Athletic Conference regular season title after finishing the regular season 16-2-0 with a perfect 9-0 record at home. Seniors Brianna Butler and Samantha McGuire scored the goals for the Huskies as they celebrated the seniors at home in the season. The seniors being celebrated were as followed: Andrea Pluchanik, Gabrielle Cuevas, Annie Wickett, Allison Saucier, Samantha McGuire, Megan Hunsberger, Leanna Hines, Ruby Fee, and Brianna Butler. The Huskies now move on to defend their AAC crown in the conference tournament, which begins on Sunday in Dallas, Texas.
Now moving to the men's side of the net, the UConn men's soccer team moved to 5-5-5 on the season after tying Tulsa this past Saturday. Abdou Tiem scored his 7th goal of the season for the Huskies off of an assist from junior captain Kwame Awua. The tie moved UConn to 4th in the AAC standings behind SMU, USF, and Tulsa. The Huskies have a game at home tonight against Yale and will finish off their season this Saturday at home against USF.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. You look bored. You look like you need a homework break. Do you know what's going on at UConn? Do you want to be entertained? Then go to the UCTV channel 14 at youtube.com. youtube.com/the UCTV channel 14. You're welcome.
Hello and welcome back to UC Sports. UConn field hockey had their senior day this past Sunday, defeating Princeton by a score of 4-1 and extending their perfect record to 17-0 in the process. My co-anchor Will Richardson was there. Let's see what he had to say.
I'm William Richardson, reporting from the Sherman Family Complex, where the UConn field hockey team just faced off against the Princeton Tigers, and this game was not like every other game the UConn Huskies have played. They won this game by a final score of 4-1. They allowed a goal in the first half for the first time this entire season. In 16 games, they've only allowed 1 goal in the first half, and that happened today. Princeton got on the board early off a goal by Maddie Copeland, but UConn was able to come out on top of the second half, scoring 4 unanswered goals, 3 of them coming off of penalty corners, 1 goal by Amanda Collins, 2 goals by senior Rasheen Upton, and the final goal of the game coming by Charlotte Veitner. We talked to Coach Nancy Stevens after the game, so let's go and check that out.
I went on senior day. I mean, especially for these seniors that have done so much for our program with the best winning percentage of any 4-year class, 2 national championships, a bunch of Big East championships. So you want to win. Princeton defensively was superb in the first half. They shut us out in the first half. I thought their corner defense in particular was impenetrable. So in the second half, you know, we were able to make the changes.
No, this was the first game that you guys have let up a goal in the first half all year. How impressed were you with your team's ability to respond and sort of get
Yeah, that's the important thing. You know, when you haven't had a lot of adversity, you can talk about mental toughness and fighting through adversity, but we need it. We needed to have it. So it's the first time we've trailed all year, and then to come back and score 4 in the second half, I think shows a lot of mental toughness.
2 games left. You talked about not having that adversity. This game you guys had to fight all the way through. So with 2 games left, what do you need to improve moving towards a Big East tournament?
You know, it's probably just a matter of fine-tuning. You know, right now everything's in place. You know, corner defense is excellent. Our attack corners, we had 5 corner goals against Providence on Friday night, so it was superb. So it's probably just fine-tuning things, staying healthy. You know, it's hard to lose kids to injury and then still reach all the goals you've set for yourself. But yeah, I mean, you can get better every day. So we're just gonna work every day to get better.
So you heard what Coach Nancy Stevens had to say. Back to the game, there was a lot of penalties in this game, but UConn just found a way to battle it out like they always do and show why they deserve to be the #1 team in the country after coming off of back-to-back national champions. This game was also important for another sentimental reason. This game was senior day for the Huskies, so they graduate 7 seniors at the end of this year. Those 7 seniors are as follows: Sophie Bowden, Katie Guarini, Pippa Lewis, Megan Palmiciano, Mackenzie Townsend, Roisin Upton, and Emily Walsh. Those are the 7 seniors for the Huskies. They've compiled an impressive 75-10 record, which is good for 88% winning percentage here at UConn, which is just outstanding. And that wraps it up for us here at Sermon Family Complex. I'm William Richardson, and this is UC Sports.
The Huskies will look to improve to 18-0 this Wednesday at home against UMass, and they will close their season this Saturday in Washington, D.C. against Georgetown.
Now on to the football team. The UConn football team lost on the road this past weekend to Cincinnati by a final score of 37-13. The Huskies dropped to 3-5 on the season with 4 games remaining. UConn was outgained 612 to 266 yards overall as quarterback Brian Sheriffs threw for 87 yards and ran for another 90. Running back Arkeel Newsom ran for 47 yards, caught for 37, and finished with 126 all-purpose yards in the game. The Huskies returned back in action on Friday against ECU at home at the Pratt & Whitney Stadium at Rensselaer Field. Now we're going to switch gears a little bit, talk about women's basketball. The preseason's getting ready to start this week for men's basketball. Women's got a couple of days coming up, media day this past week. So I was able to talk to Mariah Jefferson maybe not too long ago, see what her thoughts were about the season in a one-on-one interview. We have some footage of that in a one-on-one exclusive, so let's go ahead and check out a quick sneak peek from that.
Actually, I didn't want to come here until like 2 months before I came. I was not planning on coming to Connecticut at all, but I ended up getting up here for a visit, and then I just fell in love with it, the campus. I fell in love with the coaching staff, and everything just seemed so real, and it pretty much fit me. That was extremely important because I was homeschooled, and I was at home. I was in that kind of family setting, so going so far from home, if it didn't fit, then I don't think I would have saw myself coming this far for school. So it was important to come up here and fill everything out. But I mean, I loved it from the time I got here, and I'm glad I came. It's extremely hard. You have to bring your A game every game. Everybody wants to beat you at any point in time, so you can't come out taking anything lightly. And practices are probably the worst thing that you'll ever experience in your life. But you learn how to win in practices, and then by the time you get to the game, it makes it a lot easier.
So that's the first preview of 3 previews. We got a couple more lined up for you in the next couple of weeks. Brandon, are you excited for women's basketball season and for men's basketball season for that much?
Always excited for basketball season. Basketball capital of the world, women always looking to go undefeated, the men looking like not as much of a threat as the women, but definitely going to be fun to watch.
Definitely. And then, like I said, media day was this past week, yesterday and today. So it was gonna be interesting to see basically where both teams line up. UConn women favored to win the conference again.
Yep.
The men were second this year, a couple of votes behind SMU. So it's gonna be interesting to see where this team wraps up. But that wraps it up for us here. Alongside Brandon Carney, I'm William Richardson. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.